Welcome to the Diamond Hands podcast, where medicine meets momentum and branding becomes a leadership system. I'm Leslie Tracy Craditchville, co-founder of Diamond Hands Media. I build aesthetic brands that lead, with a background in employee benefits and business finance, so brand becomes authority and asset value. This is mindset, money, and marketing for founders building brands that run without them. Because brand isn't a logo, it's how you lead.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Diamond Hands podcast. Today, we are in for a treat, as I always say to you guys. We're recording live at LLA Aesthetics in Weymouth, Massachusetts. And I am here with Dr. Lisa Lopes. She is the founder of LLA Aesthetics and LLA Academy. So let's get into it. Welcome.
All right, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now, I want to hear some snaps in the background.
Oh my Lord. We need to have the live. We do. We're live.
We have our studio audience. So, so today's conversation is one that I've really been looking forward to because it's not just about titles or achievements. It's about who we become in the process. And you have done a lot of becoming, honey. You might as well call yourself Michelle Obama.
Oh, Sam. Oh, okay.
Yes.
All
So
right.
when people meet you today, of course, they see the refined version. They see Dr. Lisa Lopes, DNP. You have this beautiful location. You have all these nurses in your network, a beautiful family. However, that's not where it started. So, where did the earliest version of your ambition come from?
So honestly, the reason why I built what I built was because I started with nothing. Nothing. I had no mentorship, no guidance. There was no IV. There was no Botox everywhere. I started from zero. And for me to get mentorship was an arm and a leg. For me to get guidance was impossible. For me to have a medical director that loved being cared for me, even showed me some grace, nothing. And I was like, I found a gap of opportunity. And you need to take that opportunity when you see it, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it because I'm super passionate in what I do. And my nurses are my baby. I literally say to all of them, I'm their mama bear, and I truly am. Mm-hmm. And I guide every single one of them individually, and I treat them all differently because they all have their own stories, their own history, the way that they started their business. The fact that I'm going on vacation next week and they're all panicking because Mama Bear's gone, right? I'm like, it's going to be all right. All right, we got slack.
Yes.
So the fact that where I started and where I am today was exactly what I wanted to do because now nurses have guidance. They have security. They have support. They have things that you can't find in this saturated industry, I must say. Mm-hmm. And again, competition. There's no competition. And I hate those people that say community over competition. Anyways, pause. I can't stand that because it's not true. And what truly is community over competition is what I have. And this network is exactly what I wanted to build from the beginning. So I'm exactly where I am today.
I like that.
Keep growing, which now, unfortunately, waitlist is now closed because we are fully booked, which is great. It's great.
And that's great. So, I want to ask you, so we have this now, but what moment in your childhood or what you would say, your early career kind of shaped who you are as a leader today? Where do you get these productivity and leadership kind of qualities from? Who did you see in your family or mentor or anything like that? What was it?
Honestly, it's my dad. And oh my God, here we go. Hopefully I don't cry. Jesus. So my family is from immigrants. They immigrated from Portugal. They spoke no English. He was bold. He came to America not knowing a lick of English, but he made it, right? He's not a huge businessman. He doesn't make millions a year. He's a simple man working as a steward in Langham Hotel. He's a cleaning supervisor. So it's the fact that he taught me the ethics and the morals of being a human. And I think that's why I do what I do, is because it makes me feel good that I get to help people the way that he helps people. And it's by so little, but I want it a larger scale. So productivity and just the way I am as a person, I have to thank my dad. Yeah. So because of my family, I am the first American here that I was raised, went to college, went back to college for my master's, then went back to college again and got my doctorates. And my dad was like, there's something after a regular college degree. Like, how much is this going to cost? Like, and I was like, Dad, don't worry. I got loans for that. You know, we all start somewhere. Yes. We're in significant amounts of debt, right? But we all get where we are today. And I have to thank him for that. Mm-hmm. And that's how I was raised. So it just makes me feel good to see where I am today. And he's very proud.
Oh, I can imagine. And you know, and with that, so your family came here, immigrants. I'm a first-gen American too. High five. Jamaica, clock it. In any case, you know, what I do want to ask you too, it's like, you know, we have our upbringings, we have certain patterns and everything, but like, is there anything, any belief that you had about yourself that you felt you had to like outgrow in order to get to the level where you are today?
For sure. It's insecurity and feeling scared. Like, I feel like, honestly, aesthetics industry is scary. Like, honestly, you feel judged constantly if you're worried to post something because you're worried, you know, Bob Schmo next door is going to be like, look at these lips. She's so amateur. Like, oh, she's using Juvederm. Like, what? Like, it's like you can't really be yourself.
Yeah.
And then if you don't look the part, right, you shouldn't be in aesthetics. Let me tell you something. Like, I could tell you right now, I only have Botox and I am clear as day. Like, I can be honest with what the treatments I got. I don't have any filler in my face. I don't have sculpture in my face. I don't have radius in my face. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having small lips. I actually love my small lips. But like, you don't have to look apart to be in this industry. If you want to be in this industry, if you want to take care of people, if you want to be an entrepreneur and do something different outside the box of just being a regular nurse in a hospital working overnights, working in cardiac transplant, I'm saying my story, being a director of nursing, thinking I was going to make big moves, and I was just in corporate, just doing the same crap over and over again, you choose your path. So the fact that we can do these things as a nurse and we have this autonomy, and you know, as a nurse you're limited because you need a medical director, but like, I give that autonomy. I want you to be where I am at. Everyone can have a piece of the pie. It's like, it's not one cake is for one person. So for me to get out of that insecurity and like worried and that fear of what people will think of me, it took a while, but now that I'm out and that shell is broken, shattered.
Yeah.
I broke through it.
Yeah.
I am now teaching my babies to do the same because like, you can make it too.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. So like, beneath the surface, so like, you know, let's talk about ethics, for example. Like, so every leader has a code of ethics, like what governs your life. Like, what would you say that your ethics are? Like, what would you say are the core values? And
what was that, core values?
Check
aesthetics.com.
I know, right? The core values that kind of govern your life and your business.
So I think, honestly, transparency in, again, going back to the non-gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Again, back to what I said. You can have a piece of this pie in this aesthetics industry. It's not only one person gets the cake, right? If you want to be a piece of this industry, you could be that. And all you need, again, my ethics for it is like, just be transparent. Don't gatekeep. Don't think that you're living in a bubble and you can run this yourself. You can't. You can't do this alone. So that's why in my website, I have my core values that I also put that towards my patients. So I don't do any like, you know, I don't blind them. They know the cost before they enter the door. I don't push them for procedures just because I want to make a quick buck and want to get rid of the product on my shelf. No, I sit down and I talk to you about what you want to accomplish. Same with my nurses.
Yeah.
I do the same thing because we're humans. Okay? We all want one thing, is satisfaction, success, entrepreneurship, beauty, success. Like, you know, like we're all here for the same thing, right? So I think transparency and helping people is just gonna be good for everybody.
I think so too. And so, you know, with pricing, I want to talk about that a little bit, because with pricing, that's something I love that you really are upfront about your pricing in advance. because there is so much gatekeeping, even from a practitioner to a patient perspective. When people are coming in, they're like, I don't even know it's going to cost. I've been in practices where people are coming to the front desk and the person's just like, okay, today it's going to be $6,700. And the person is just like shell shocked. So like when it comes to ethic, what do you think pricing and positioning has to do with ethics in pricing? Like, how do those things relate?
So I feel like you need to gain the trust of your client, right? Them going to that front desk and finding out that they're paying $6,000, they're never going to come back. What are you going to do? Oh, just suck it out of me? Just take it. Can you reverse it? Can we put rewind? No, you can't push rewind. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you need to be upfront. I think the first thing is a consultation to like display exactly how you are as a provider and be super transparent. Like, okay, these are your concerns. Well, we can't fix that in one day. We have to fix this over time and address those facts over a journey. Because again, we're trying to reverse age, right? We're not trying to like just put a Band-Aid in a situation. Like that's not investment. I always say it's like a 401k. I think it's used everywhere on social media. It's like your face is your 401k. That's 100%. Because you can't just do one thing and then it cure it all because you're just going to get older the next day.
True. And so with that too, it's like, what is the importance of holistic treatment planning and why is that so critical when patients are coming in to your practice and guiding them on their, stay as good as you need to look for your age journey?
Oh yeah, I think it's important to include all aspects of care, like for example, injectables. Obviously is important, right? But you can't just do all injectables, right? You have to do facials. You got to do skincare. You got to do fundamentals. If you're already a previous esthetician as a provider, great. That's awesome. You have a step in the game. But having a partner in that, like an esthetician to work with you, you're just going to grow your business and get that confidence from that client. Because what makes you think they're not going to go to another spa and get another service? How can you make sure and ensure consistency with their plan of care? You can't, right? You need to be almost like a one-stop shop, right? Until advanced therapies need to be needed, right? Because of course surgery is also required eventually, right? Or not God, all right? You just be like, hold on, reverse, little, all done. So like, we need to make sure, I think it's really important to have that team. I know as a small business owner, it's very hard to do that, especially to maintain retention and keep that client with you because you're almost like a one-stop shop right now, right? How can you make sure that you're providing all those tiers to those patients and make sure that they're coming back? You can't, right? Especially if you're just offering injectables. So I think it's really important to make sure that you have someone like that in your team.
Yeah, I think it's a really great point. So that goes back into patient retention. If you are able to offer not only injectables, but also, foundational skincare products and maybe laser or what have you, then you're able to create a long-term relationship with the patient.
Yes, and I think that's success. Once you get that, that's retention, that's success, that they're going to come back. You're offering them a whole plan of care. Not like, hey, I recommend a facial, I recommend laser therapies. Okay, where's your facialist? Where's your laser therapy? Why is that part of your treatment plan? Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
That to me is lost revenue. So I always tell my nurses, of course in the beginning, no one can afford a laser like that. It's like some of them are $250,000, right? Minimally at least $50,000. So it's like, how can we integrate that into a new business to maintain those clientele? You can't. You gotta be creative with that stuff. So I work a lot with my nurses to strategize to make sure that you maintain those clientels for that full plan of care.
Yes, and that retention will come. So if you have the retention, those patients are coming back because having one patient stay with you is going to cost you less than acquiring a new patient. And I think that this is something that people don't understand. It's just like, what is that patient journey, right? So tell me about your patient journey because it starts before they even walk in the door. It starts when they go on your website. It starts from what they see on social media. It starts with how you answer the phone. Like you are so great on the phone. So I want to talk to you about that, like phone skills, like, how important are phone skills and interpersonal skills when you're actually meeting these new patients who have never been to a practice before? And how can you train your team to duplicate that skill?
It's hard to duplicate yourself.
Yeah.
If I could, I would duplicate 1,000,000 of me because then everybody would be happy, right?
Yeah.
But we can't make it like that. But it's okay. So we do training and orientation for that. But anyways, back to your question.
Yes.
So I think the first phone call conversation is crucial. First of all, you need to pick up the phone.
That part.
Okay? Not, ooh, text me or send me a DM. No, they're sending 100 DMs. They're not going to look at your specific DM. That first phone call, you need to make sure you answer. So making sure that the front desk is trained for that in case that you're not able to answer it, or calling them back within 5 minutes is super important. Asking them what brings you in today, or just like ask them what they're looking for and what their experience has been in the past. You're almost like getting their story. You're listening. It's almost like therapy. I hate considering myself a therapist because I'm not. I'm not a legal therapist. Okay, like they tell me about their life and you know their breakups and divorces, and you know it comes with the story. You just listening and just giving that reassurance. Already they're gonna book.
Yes.
They're already going to book. If you do something like, oh, Carl, I got you. Like, we can take care of you. Just come for a consultation. It's free. Just come in and let's chat. I can guarantee you they're going to book a membership. They're going to book. They're probably going to get Botox that same day.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to take home some skincare because I'm going to say, well, you're worried about this. This is what's going to fix it in the long term, right?
Yes.
So I think it's super important to make sure that you're charismatic. It's very difficult to kind of be vulnerable in that situation, to be like, hey, how are you? I think that's definitely something I've always had. I don't know what that, I think that just came with
I
me.
call it retail brain, but something else.
It's almost like, and I'm not a salesperson. I was a nurse in a cardiac transplant unit.
Bedside manner.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you just kind of flip on that switch, right? I even sometimes talk to my husband like that. It's kind of weird. I'm like, hey! He's like, no. I'm like, okay, sorry, honey.
I love it.
But like, you need to start with that fundamental is get that person in for that consultation. And then sitting down with them and just making sure you go over everything you can offer to that patient and go over price budget.
Yes.
Right? Say like, what is your budget for the year? Because some people literally have a budget, like I only have $200 a month. I'm like, well, let's think about this membership plan because that's not going to afford the big membership plan, right?
Yeah.
Have multiple facets with those different plan of cares to make sure that that patient's taken care of. They're going to love you by the end of it. If you could just sit down, put the iPad away, put the phones away, just look at the patient and listen to them.
Yeah.
I think you're going to gain their trust, and that's how you get retention.
Yeah. And I think that's so important. So like, you know, so from what I'm hearing from you, the most important thing when you're on the phone with a new patient, whether it's you or your patient care concierge, it's you're selling the consultation at that point.
Yeah.
You're not selling Botox, you're not selling filler, you're not selling anything. They might ask questions about it, but you always bring them back to, we can talk about all this at your consultation.
Yep.
We can talk about
We
all
don't
this
talk
at
to
your
anything through the phone.
consultation. Yeah, and that's important because, you know, because there's some people who do shop around, they're looking for certain things.
Yeah.
And so then with that too, like how do you kind of differentiate between someone who is going to be an ideal patient or a good patient for your practice and someone who may not be a good patient for your practice? How do you kind of differentiate those things when you're talking to people, and how do you kind of pick up on some of the red flags?
It's expectations. I think it's everything. If they show me a picture of a ChatGPT filtered photo, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, like that ain't going to work. If they're like, you know what, I'm just tired. This is such a common complaint. I look so tired.
Yeah.
My eyes under my bags. Like my bags under my eyes. Like I am exhausted. I look like I'm 100 years old. I just want to wake up. You're the patient for me. You're the patient for me. Because even just a quick facial and some Botox will brighten you up. It could be something as simple as that. And like for people that are like, I need a lift, I need a tuck, it's like, okay, I can't be the person that you're looking for. And I'm very transparent. I could say no all day. Most of the time I do say no because I'm not going to do something that I'm going to regret and that you're going to regret.
Yeah.
It's like we both have to be on the same page, the same book, the same everything.
Yeah. And that's very important. And so now let's talk about the Lisa underneath the Lisa. Okay.
You taking dirt?
You know, because, you know, we all have our public persona. We have our internal persona. And they're not always the same person.
No. I'm pretty the same. but it's all right.
No, but like, so for you, it's like, what's something that you feel that people misunderstand about you?
What do people misunderstand about me? Probably like my agenda, I guess. They probably think like the one thing I absolutely cannot stand, especially like when I talk with nurses, is like if I'm being compared. Like they think like I have an agenda that I'm trying to screw them or something because of their past, right? They've had a medical director that didn't go right. It just didn't go right, period, right? Then they take that on me as if I'm going to be a repetitive. Like I'm going to be a repeat situation. I think that kills me because that's why I'm very like, I get them on the phone and I'm just like, listen, this is me, okay? You'll always have me. I got you, you got me. We're both in the same boat. Think about it this way. You're winning, I'm winning. Why would I want to manipulate that in any sort of way? Like, I want us all to be successful at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because then I'm not going to be standing here today, right? Same with my patients. I'm like, I don't need to inject you. But making that relationship with you to just make you feel better, that's to me, that's enough. Money doesn't have to be there. You know what I mean? Like, especially when it comes to patients, if I don't get paid that day, that does not mean I didn't do a good job. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, at least I left an imprint. At least I talked to patients. I am building that foundation. Sometimes that takes time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want people to think that I'm the same as everybody else because I could tell you I'm different.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
And then, I want to ask you, like, with success, was there ever a moment where, like, the success you started to get, it felt like heavy instead of like exhilarating? And like, how did you kind of deal with that additional pressure of like, oh, wow, I'm actually making money now. I'm actually very responsible for a lot of people's lives now. What was that feeling like? And how did you kind of push through that feeling?
Oh, anxiety to a T. I'm like, oh, I got way too many babies. What do I do? It's almost like I gave birth to so many babies and now I don't know what to do. I panicked. I was like, even my husband was like, I was crying because I was like, I felt so much pressure saying like, I can't say no to a nurse that's begging me to take them because they're being screwed and now they're at risk for a legal situation. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I gotta take you too. I'll take you too. I'll take you too. I'll take you too. All my eggs in my basket. It's gonna be fine. What I did to resolve that was hire people and let go of control.
Yes, embrace
Quote
the
unquote. Embrace the
Yes, that's what I got.
quote LT.
Yes. Yes, embrace the sound. That's
So like I had to lose that control.
Yeah.
I think as a businesswoman, as you know, you just want to take control over every little micro detail to make sure everything is perfect. Reality check. It ain't gonna happen. You gotta let it go. And you gotta hire people. You have to trust in that. Make sure you have good core values. Like you just need to build that foundation because it's gonna go well. And it's like finding the right team members. It took some time. It took some time. And I'm finally at a point where I'm like, I can breathe. And it's like, now I can take on more. Of course, it's like I can't take off everybody, right? That's why I'm capping off. But it's like letting go of that control, hiring more help, training that help. It's so much easier. And now everybody's happy.
Exactly. And even with like, this is something I think that business owners need to never forget. And you'll never forget it because you know it, you're doing it all the time. But it's just also when you're hiring people, you have to understand these people may not be with us forever. And that's okay because sometimes your business is just an incubator for someone's next level and they're just on a journey and you're just part of their journey. You're not going to, and with that, and that's why I think it's so important that you create standard operating procedures for any role. So it's just like, okay, if someone leaves, I know that someone else can do those same tasks or whatever. Right? And I think that's an important thing. And, so the anxiety, all those things that happen to you, but, what does rest look like for you now? Like, what does real rest look like for you when you're not working?
It's at Brazil at the beach with my daughter running in the sand. That's rest. That's rest. And I can't wait.
Because you have a new baby. Well, she's not so new anymore. I mean, she's still new.
14 months.
14 months.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. But that to me is rest.
I love that.
I love that.
And, something I kind of want to talk about might be a little bit controversial, but, the DNP versus MD conversation. This is all over the place, as we see. And, there are some people who are so for it, some people who think it's not right for someone to call themselves a doctor when they have a DNP. So what do you think people fundamentally misunderstand about the differences in training and scope? What do you think that is?
Honestly, I think an MD from a DNP is only like a 2 to 3 year difference. It's honestly it doesn't even matter. The fact that you got your doctorates, you got your PhD, that's a different level of education. I'm doing the same amount of work as an MD. It's the same thing, just in a different path of learning, right? You're learning something else compared to nursing degree, nurse practitioner, doctorate. So it's the whole debate about that, not calling yourself doctor when you're a DNP, I think that's BS. I think you should be able to utilize that value that you just work so hard to get. And I'm going to call myself Dr. Lopes. Thank you very much. I earned it. You know?
Yes, clock it.
So I don't care if it hurts people's feelings, but I earned what I got what I deserve. I paid for it, so I'm going to use it.
And I love that. My parents, they're both PhDs, so I know they're doctors. So the thing is with that, so for the public eye, because what I have heard is that people say the public will not know the difference. So if I'm Dr. Leslie and you're Dr. Leslie, they might not look at the letters after the name or what have you. So in terms of a public education perspective, what do you think the industry as a whole can do to make sure the public does understand, yes, there are some nuances, but it doesn't necessarily mean that one is better than another?
Yeah, no, I think honestly it's just a title. Why does it matter? If you're titled doctor or MD or NP or PA, you're doing what you got trained on within your scope of practice of wherever you are. So I think education, I think people need to talk about it more. I don't think a lot of people talk about it on social media because everyone looks at social media and those reels and YouTube shorts and whatever. But I think that needs to be more talked about. I think it does.
Yeah, because there are MDs who have been practicing, but they don't even do the injectables. And then there's nurse practitioners who've been practicing for 10 years and they're amazing at what they do and their skills are not even on par. Yeah. So I understand that. And but what do you wish that both sides, both nurses and physicians, understood about each other as far as respect?
Yeah, I just feel like everybody gets treated the same. I feel like it goes back to the human, just being, everyone's a human. Right? It's why do we have titles? Why do we have levels? I look at nurses the same thing as me. We're all, sometimes they teach me something I don't know. Why can't we just make it a mainstream?
A mainstream? Tell me more. What do you mean?
Why can't it be mainstreamed of MDs, PAs, NPs? Everybody's the same level. Why does it matter to have that, why does that title matter?
Interesting. Devil's advocate. If it doesn't matter, then why do all the extra schooling?
True. No, I mean why does it bother people if I'm calling myself Dr. Lopes? Yeah. Why does it bother you?
Yeah. If I was my sister's a doctor, her and her husband, I think what happens is that it's just a matter of I went to school for 8 years. I had to do rounds for 3 million hours. I got screamed at by the head plastic surgeon and I didn't go to sleep for 30 nights on end. And so I feel for some people, they feel it's my experience is vastly different than someone who wrote a 90-page paper. And so so it's a matter of almost psychological abuse. We did not go through the same abuse. But I do. So I understand where you're coming from, especially in aesthetics. Because in aesthetics, it does not make the biggest difference. Yep. Where I do think it makes maybe more of a difference is when it's a plastic surgeon or something, or maybe even a dermatologist versus someone. But it's just if someone's oh, I was a cardiologist and now I'm an injector, I'm okay. I don't know. Yes. However, I think some of the chagrin comes from, or the angst or anger or whatever you want to call it, comes from. It's just there's a different level of abuse that they go through.
It's
a level of trauma that they go through to get that name. And so I think that's where it comes from.
For sure, I see that. I see that for sure. Yeah. The nurses also go through a lot.
They go through abuse too.
Yeah, I'm like, I have a room full of nurses.
Yeah, a room full of nurses.
I was like, we can definitely, and it's like in the hospital too. I remember being on the floor and like I was in the COVID room and the doctor refused to go in because they're like, no, there's many of you and only one of me.
Wow.
And I'm like, I volunteer as tribute. Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, it was very, very, it's like that I don't like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, you should be in here too. There is more of you. It's like,
Yeah.
like, don't make it seem like you're the one all be all. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's where it comes. It's almost like the ego thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, we've all been through struggles. Trust me, as a nurse, I was punched in the face. Like, I had a black eye for like 2 weeks. So it's like, but I couldn't hit back or I can't defend myself because why? The patient's confused. The patient doesn't know what the heck's going on. So what am I going to do? Right? So it's like, trust me, I get it. Yeah. I get it. I think, again, it's like an ego thing. And I'm going to call myself doctor, period.
Okay. There we go.
And I earned it. I'm going to call it.
I love it. And so, so speaking of like the future of aesthetics, what do you see, like what do you predict? Because you see so many different practices. What do you see coming next in the industry that you think others haven't noticed yet?
Honestly, there's going to be a lot more legal structure and more compliance regulations. I think
Tell me more.
Sure. I think for sure. I think there's a lot of rogue going on. Again, wild, wild west. I think everyone says that about aesthetics. It's like people just do stuff because they're like, oh, I'm a nurse, I can, right? When they're like in it deep and they don't even know that they've been doing it non-compliantly for so many years. I think now because there's more issues arising, I don't know if you've been seeing the news around here about like cases of people getting botulism, right? Like there needs to be structure. And again, Massachusetts has a lot of structure and a lot of legal, as my nurses know, it's endless, right? But I think it's going to get worse. I honestly think it's going to get more structured. It's going to be more stricter. There's going to be more like audits. I just see it coming. And I've talked to like many people in the industry, like colleagues, especially like plastic surgeons. And they're like, oh, this is so going to be more regulated because people are going rogue. And I think that's going to change a lot of people. I think it's going to scare people to start a business, which is something that I don't want them to be scared of. Just invest in your business, invest on your future. And if you really want to get into this, then make sure you do the right decisions to start off in the right path.
Yeah. And I mean, I think when you have national magazines picking up the stories of med spa, because you guys may have seen the Allure article that came out, that's been everywhere. And it's like, and they're even delineating, oh, these people are better to go to than these people. And it's like, that's a public, very wide circulated magazine. So when they're picking up on this industry, there's only a matter of time before the government says, they're making us look bad. We're not getting enough money from this situation. We follow the dollars, guys. But it's only a matter of all the time. But it's only a matter of time before the government is like, okay, we're going to do something. Like I was talking to a marketer, like I was telling you, from France or what have you, and he was a doctor, but he turned marketer. But he was like in France, he was like, it's a two-party system here. He was like, you're either a university doctor or you own your own medical practice, aesthetics practice. And you can't be a medical aesthetic practice owner and be a lecturer. They don't allow it in France.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they don't allow it. And he's like, you can't represent pharma companies or do any of those type of things here. He's like, it's completely different.
Like one or the other.
Yeah, and he's like, nurses don't do injectables. He's like, dental hygienists don't even clean your teeth. We don't have anything called a dental hygienist in France. He's like, it's only a doctor. Dentist.
Doctor. Yeah.
So it's completely different. And so who knows? I don't know if it will get that strict, but it could.
It could.
You never know.
And you could see, even just like on AmSpa, like the legal stuff on there, like we can see all the references across the states, like in Texas, and Texas is crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy. I think SU is
quite bad.
There is bad. Yeah. So it's like, it's just going to get more regulated. It's more popular. Like I said, I started 6 years ago. It is so different from when I first started.
Yep.
Like I was like probably like there was 2 med spas around me. Now if you look up med spa, I think there's like 13 near me. It's insane. Yeah. It's growing. It's growing. So
13,000.
I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot. And, we're kind of wrapping down here, but, what do you think the next generation of woman leaders who come into aesthetics, so, a lot of women in aesthetics or whatever, but what do you think the next generation of woman leaders will demand from themselves and from the systems that they enter? Like, so say they come in and they want to be under you or anyone of your medical directorship. How do you think that women are going to start saying, I want more structure. I want better. I want to, and demanding more.
I'm already seeing that,
Yeah.
honestly. And like, it's so beautiful to see, honestly, that more women are starting to do this because they're like, I want to do something for myself. I want to do something I love. Like, I went to school for so long. I've been, wiping butts for over 12 years or 15 years or 20 years. I'm getting a whole bunch of different vast of experience that I'm like, go you. Like, I think that's so empowering. And I think it's the autonomy, right? It's like nurse practitioners can now be medical directors. They can now own their own practices. They can guide nurses. I just can't wait to see what's up because I think it's super powerful. And obviously, I'm a woman entrepreneur myself, so I want everybody to be feeling where I am now today. So it's like,
we're heading back to the matriarchy. So I know, right? And so basically, speaking of your impact, when people speak about your work decades from now, Dr. Lisa, what do you want them to say?
I honestly want them to say she's an amazing mentor and I don't regret working with her. That's the one thing. That's it. I don't care. I don't care about, oh, she's the billionaire now. Like, if I never become a billionaire, millionaire, whatever, I'm still happy on what I'm doing today than what I was doing 10 years ago that I can say today.
I love that.
So I hope that in 10 to 15 years, that someone's saying, oh, damn, she's a great mentor. And I love it that I worked with her and I never regretted a day with her.
That's so great.
That's what I want.
And so speaking of the 10 years, it's coming to my last question. If the woman you were 10 years ago could sit with you today, what would she be proud of? And what guidance would she give you for the next chapter?
Oh, damn. First of all, she'll be like, you crazy bit.
Yes.
She'd be like, damn, you did that? You weren't thinking about doing some VADs. Like, you were going to do cardiac surgery. Like, what are you doing now? Running a bunch of nurses and being able to mentor a bunch of individual women to lead their own businesses? Go you. Wow. And I would be very proud because I would never have thought I would do something like that. I didn't think I had the courage, but I did. I did. And now I'm like, I want everybody to feel like they can do that too and feel like that too. So now.
Yes, love it. Clock it. Cue the clapping. Hold on, cue the clapping.
I'm said.
So, Dr. Lisa, again, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. And I usually do in our show notes, everything about her academy is going to be linked and everything. You could visit her on the web, www.llaesthetics.com. I'm Leslie Tracy, your host. Until next time. See ya. Thanks.
Bye.
Want more clarity like this? Join the Branded Practice newsletter community. I write about strategy, systems, and brand leadership straight to your inbox. Go to diamondhandsmedia.com to sign up. And if this episode hit, share it with someone still building without a brand. This is the Diamond Hands Podcast. Thanks for listening. Now go lead.